Anyway, all right. So you guys get this by now. We're going to do 10 comics in 10 minutes. These are not necessarily all the hottest comics of the week. They could be some slower sales, just 10 interesting sales of books that we have for this week. And I am going to start the clock after I run the intro. There it is. So let's start now. All right. So with that, our first couple of books are going to be our big ticket books. And the first one is this Hulk, #1, 7-0. Sold for a healthy $91,500.
I bought that.
Did you?
Yeah.
$91,000. And from what I gathered, I'm pretty sure that that's the high, at least going off of Go Collect's record. I know GPA, but I'm not paying for the GPA membership anymore. I mean, like $11 a month. It's just, I don't need it. I don't use it enough. But
I bought that at San Diego, and I was walking away. I tripped and fell and went, oh, and the guy was like, you're going to have to give it back to me. Like, he's like, I can't sell that to you.
That book.
I need to stop.
And then it's like, we got to give it back.
Oh my God.
She's 16.
All right, our second big ticket book is for all you Fin Fang Foom fans.
Yes.
9-0. A 9-0 sold for $18,600.
That's nice.
And from what I gathered, this was the highest graded sale in the census.
That's a 9.0. That's good.
As far as sales go. And I think the price, because there was no record of other prices, it could be an all-time high for this book because there were no other books that high that sold for that much. So, Fin Fang Foom, maybe we get them, maybe we don't. Going off of some of these announcements, there's some book selling. So, with the Avengers Kang Dynasty being announced, even though we were getting Kang, and we knew we were getting him in Quantumania, I guess the fact that we're getting him in an Avengers movie made people decide, well, let's not forget about Kang and let's go buy some Kang books. This came close to being a big ticket book, but it's under 10, but not by much. Best offer on $9,000. It's still got $8,100 for a 9.0 for this Avengers 8, which, again, from what I can gather, looked like it was an all-time high sale price for this book. I know there's plenty of other books out there as far as like raw sales and that, but it's hard to compare apples to apples. So that's why I'm using graded prices, because it gives me a better baseline to give you some comparison as far as pricing goes. Not to ignore the regular raw sales, but plenty of raws have sold. But if you look at some of the other prices here, look, just in June, this was $4,600. In June 28th, $4,500. Best offer on $5,000 for a 9.0. That's half of what this one just sold for.
Isn't
so
it weird?
That is a healthy jump in about a month.
Say King's coming, King's coming, King's coming, and nobody listens, and then all of a sudden King's there.
Kang is here.
Okay.
All right.
No,
Up
it's
next,
Ramatut.
This announcement, I think, is moving the wrong books for the wrong reason. Just because they're calling it Born Again,
Yep.
doesn't mean we're going to get Born Again, because we already kind of got Born Again on Netflix. Did we already forget this? Like, I don't think that's the story they're going to give us again. I think they're just using it like they used, a lot of the titles. Age of Ultron had nothing to do with the actual Age of Ultron story. It wasn't about time traveling Ultrons or anything like that. It's just you're going to use the name. But regardless, the whole Born Again story books are selling. I know Marco wanted to call out the Nuke book, which is also in this. What's that? 232, which I did point out. It's selling for anywhere $10 to $40, but $50 for 227. The start of the Born Again storyline.
Shame.
We were still finding these in dollar bins not that long ago.
It's
a classic storyline, but still.
Look, the new bot says, Corbin, our AI.
Can't
even help you
But
find
110 sales on Board Again
my
titles for
gosh.
last week, just based off of that announcement. And I just think it's,
Yeah,
I think
Patrick,
you guys are
you're
buying the wrong
stretching,
thing.
bro. You're stretching, dude. That's a lot of stretch going on there.
It is. Just like everybody's speculating that Homelander is going to be Dracula, so everybody wants to go buy their Tomb of Draculas now, apparently. So Tomb of Dracula 1 is out there selling, and here's an 8.0 sale for $840, which doesn't seem like it's all that much.
No.
But when you compare it to where it's been, it's kind of ticking up quite a bit. I mean, you go over a couple of weeks ago, it was $516. So that's why I'm picking out the grades. Because again, graded copies, I can find the pricing pretty easily. Raw copies can be tough. Classic book, to be sure, but I don't know. I think we might be stretching on Dracula a little bit.
I still think that Wesley Snipes should have been the Dracula of the MCU.
He might as well have been.
They would have brought him back to the
Advanced
Oh,
Dungeons
here
and
goes
Dragons.
hey, Pete, I found you a Dungeons and Dragon Master.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
All right. I don't know. I might have to join him because we are getting that movie, and it kind of looked entertaining. It's given me that Vox Machina kind of vibe from the movie. So I'm looking forward to Honor Among Thieves. But it seems to be moving this DC book for one reason or another. It's not directly tied to it, but Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 1, which I've talked about on Dollar Bin Digging a long time ago, it's moving. So if you have any, now's your time. $50 at auction, $26.
Never thought I'd see the day when this would happen.
Over 40 sales. So if you got your
Save your
Dungeons and
money
Dragons
and-
books, go cash in, I guess, because I don't know if this is going to happen again. And somebody mentioned MODOK. I think so, because even MODOK's starting to sell. Tales of Suspense 94. Some bounce back prices. I mean, again, there's a lot of sales, a lot of raws, a lot of different grades. But just to kind of point out a little bit of the change, you can see here the 6.0s this week sold for over $300, where just 2 weeks ago it was under 200 at 190. Back in April it was 216. Then you go to an 8.5, one sold for 610 this week, where it was only 327 last month. So there's some interesting jumps in some prices to bounce back to some of those previous highs for MODOK. So
he had the show before the series. Then
and I think people just said, "Oh,
nope,
claymation, not for me."
Yeah,
but it's still TV. You still,
yeah.
I guess.
But he's selling again, and like I said, all you guys with your first Tiger Division, everybody going out there, let's go buy this Black Cat Annual. There's multiple variant covers for this book. All of them seem to be selling. I get it; they're getting their own title. There's also that Taskmaster 3 book, which I think is the first to the one character, Taguchi or something.
Tamaguchi.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
This thing is selling for anywhere from like $13 up to $30. Just this
I had one of
annual.
those. I couldn't
you
keep
can
it
find one
alive.
in your shop for cover. Go buy it. See if you can do yourself a quick flip, because I personally just don't see how this one's going to maintain any of these prices. But I mean, really, it's just a comic book title. Like, eventually, it's probably going to end up being like a mini. And is anybody going to care? Probably not. But we'll see. And another book that's selling, Black Panther #8. First, Annika, like the Dora Milaje trainer.
Annika,
Yeah.
She's not even named yet in this book, I don't think. I think she appears, but it's unnamed. But this thing apparently is selling for $20 to $30 raw. You see there's a 9.8 selling for $260 at auction. There's over 30 sales. This thing seems to be moving for one reason or another. I get it. It also has Doom. It has Namor. It has Shuri as Black Panther. So it's probably as close as you can get to what we might be getting on screen. But still, I don't know. Look for it in a cheap box, but I wouldn't say don't pay any market prices for any of this stuff. And our last book, I believe, the one I want to keep an eye on because of today's announcement, well, not announcement, I guess that leak of the Spider-Punk thing that we pointed out before. We got Spider-Punk merchandise selling, so that must mean we're getting a lot of Spider-Punk, right? I don't know. There was an app alert as well, and it just hasn't seemed to move that many books quite yet. There's a few sales. The variants, the 1 in 10 variants are selling for about $50. The Delata 1 in 25 sold for $655 at a 9.8, but the regular $50 asks on the regular ASM 10s aren't moving yet, but I think it's worth keeping an eye on over these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think the market's just getting smarter to that. So I think whatever. I mean, that's a garbage book. All right, let's get into the overtime books that are probably better than a couple of books.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we got through our 10 with a minute left, so I'm going to turn the clock off, but we're going to go to overtime just for this one book because with the X-Men 97 announcement and the trailer, I guess, and the plot synopsis, Mags is leading the crew, so folks are running out to grab their X-Men 200s.
Yeah, they get these fast, sell them even faster, especially when they come out, when they show the trailer for X-Men 97 to everybody, because he is, Matt, can you confirm that Magneto shows up in this outfit that's on this cover?
He absolutely does, and declares himself the leader of the X-Men.
Okay, so before that 97 gets started, make sure you have already bought these for $1 and sold them for $20.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll
stack
bargain
with
with
the highest
anyone right
price
now.
now.
I'll bargain with anybody for $2 for one. Let me know.
Yeah, there's plenty of these 200s out there. So
I like the M on the front, so you know he's Magneto.
you know who he is.
Yeah.
Don't be confused.
I
I
wasn't
did get
sure
confused.
until I saw the M.
Yeah, I mean the
Mr.
purple or the hair or the face or the
I mean, he could have been Magique though, even with the M.
yeah.
And I said
Or
Magique because Marco likes to say
Mr.
Magique. but
This,
I
this
always
is
read it as
JR
Magic.
Jr. in his prime, right?
Yeah, that's what BK just said. Great JR. Good call, BK. Unfortunately, they're nostalgic, but the more I look at him because his art's been so bad, you're just kind of like, maybe the art wasn't that fun back then. I don't know.
There's your book to go look for. So until next week, we will have
I thought
another
we had another one in there.
10. No, I just did the one. I was going to do the Daredevil 131, but there wasn't enough interesting about it. Prices are about the same. There wasn't a ton of sales. So yes, the Daredevil show's coming. Maybe we get Bullseye again. I don't know.